Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Today is Monday, July 25th. It is 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we can get started with our session for today as we officially kick off the trading week. So a couple of things here to update real quick. Let's finish this up. And we should be good to go. All right, solid. All right. Still loading up right here. Looks good, I think. And YouTube's been laggy. Anyways, let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium as the stream gets copied over. Looks good. Link is sent out. I'll give you guys some time to join the room shortly. All right, cool. Looks like people are making their way in. So as people make their way in, I'll give a few minutes before we identify everything here. So let's give it a few minutes. Hey, Stephen, morning. Morning, Peter. Let's see. What else do I need to check out here? I saw there's something for CNBC. Let's see. Looking over here, 5 things to know before the stock market opens Monday. So looking over here, it says big week ahead. It'll be the biggest week so far of the current earnings season. About a third of the S&P's 500 companies due to report. So it looks like we're going to have some volatility this week with earnings. Tuesday, we have Coca-Cola, McDonald's, General Motors, Alphabet, Microsoft. A lot of these are going to fall within US30. Wednesday, Boeing, Ford, Meta, Qualcomm. Thursday, Comcast, Apple, Amazon. So we got a lot of big companies releasing earnings this week. So we're going to see some pretty crazy movement in the market. Not overall, but I think we're going to see some spikes, of course, with these coming out, which will be beneficial for us with the breakout. So we'll have like a directional move, not necessarily anything, choppy like it's been the past couple of weeks. So we'll see how that plays out. But other than that, let's see who else is here. So morning, Fahad, morning, B, morning, Kenny. Morning, Bobby. Morning, Marlon. Morning, everybody. So happy Monday, guys. Today is Monday, July 25th. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. It's 6:24 right now. Market's going to open in about 6 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and analyze the bias and whatnot for our confluences to identify, what we'll be looking for for the breakout today. So there's the breakout strategy requirements. And here are the confluence checklists. So looking at the confluence checklist right here, let's take a look at what the overall bias is looking like currently at the moment. So refreshing the IG sentiment over here. IG sentiment is currently 57% short. This indicates that 57% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So we want to do the opposite and buy. This isn't necessarily a very strong bias for retail sentiment. We typically want this to be about 60 to 65% in one direction or the other so that we can identify where majority of traders are trading so that we can do the opposite. This is going to be a light bullish bias, which is fine. This will work for now. Let's go and take a look at the fundamentals right now. Fundamentals are currently up 102 points. So with that said, we have somewhat of a bullish bias with regard to fundamentals and retail sentiment. It's not very strong, but it is indicating that we should probably look for some bias today. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to mark up for overall bias, bullish bias, right? That's going to be overall. looking over here at the current trend, you can see that price is below the K2 pivots. The trend meter is also red. So this is going to be a bit of a conflict right here with regard to overall bias and trend. So this is going to be bearish bias. This is going to be a bit tricky because we typically want things to be directional, right? One way. So we'll see what happens when the market opens in the next 4 minutes. This can easily shift to the upside. And then the trend will be bullish. However, right now it is bearish. So right now for overall bias, we have bullish bias. For the current trend, we have a bearish bias. So these are going to conflict with each other right here. Looking at the high-low continuations, you can see right here that it is bearish. We have two highs here that have not overlapped. So this is going to be a bit bearish right here. And then similar with the opposite. If this establishes and price swings to the upside, then this can shift to the other direction as well. So we'll see what happens shortly. Other than that, let's take a look at the high-low candle reversal. So right now we have it doesn't align for a sell. It doesn't align for a buy. Let me go on the 10-minute here. Currently, it looks like it is going to align with a sell. So looking at this high-low reversal, so this is I'll just put this over here, or we'll have to check when the market actually opens, but it looks like it aligns with the sell. We'll have to double check that when the market actually opens though, because we don't want to jump the gun and have it a little too early. Additional strategy confluence, there is nothing here for a V1 or nothing for a sell. Looks like it could have been a double top right there for a V1, but it's not aligned with the low, with the high. All right, so we still got 3 minutes to market open. But overall right now, you guys can see that the overall bias with regard to retail sentiment and fundamentals is bullish, but the current trend is bearish. So we'll see what happens when the market actually opens in the next 3 minutes. Hey, Matt, morning. Morning, Maria. Morning, Randy. Morning, Stern. Morning, everybody. All right, we got 2 minutes till market open. What the heck? It's weird. So I don't know. Trying to figure out what the actual time is right now. That's weird. On my, because I have 3 monitors here, guys. On my 2 monitors, it says it's 6:28 on my main monitor. Okay, never mind. It's matched up. It's 6:29 now. All right, so we have about 55 seconds till the market opens. For some reason, my other monitors had a different time from my main monitor here. But it looks like we have about 40 seconds till market open. So let's see this real quick. Got that set up right there. Got my TP stop loss set up for the breakout. Have my trailing stop still set at 200 pips. I'm going to continue using a trailing stop, guys, until the market starts to move smooth. So for the past week or so, market hasn't really been moving smooth. So I haven't been letting it run to full TP. I've been using a trailing stop. I'm going to continue to use the trailing stop until we start to see like smoother movements in the market. It's just been too choppy lately. So that's why I'm being a little careful. So the market is now opening in about 3 seconds. 2, 1, market is now open. So in order for us to take the breakout right here, I'm looking for a strong red candle. The reason for the strong red candle is because we have a red momentum right here. So look for entry after 6:30, 6:30 right now. Confirm bias is bullish right now. Confirm direction momentum. We have a sell momentum right here. And we want to confirm a strong candle in the direction of momentum. So I'm looking for a possible sell right here. If this candle here closes too big, we might want to be careful and wait for it to retrace a little bit. So it needs to be a strong red candle. There can't be a big wick on the bottom end. It has to be a for sure candle too. It can't be like bouncing back and forth. So looking at this right here, this may be the breakout. However, this candle might be a little big, so I might want to wait for it to retrace a little bit before making the actual entry. So let's see. All right, I'm gonna let it retrace a little bit before I enter the trade. Yeah, it might be too late for the entry. Let me see if it retraces up a little bit. So this is technically the breakout right here, but I'm waiting for it to retrace up a little bit before I make the entry. I haven't entered it yet. And then as it comes back down, I'll make the entry. The candle's just too big right now. So I'm waiting for it to retrace up. It might retrace up to half the candle before making its way back down. Let's see if I could, if it's too late, I'm just gonna skip it, unfortunately. I just don't like when this candle are too big, especially because it's Monday and the sessions are right here. So it might be too late for me to make an entry. The candle did not retrace up. Yeah, it's too far down already. It's right at the session. So if you guys are in it, I recommend moving your stop loss and profit. Typically I would enter right away, but this here was just moving too quickly. So if you guys are in it, I recommend moving your stop loss and profit, trailing it as it continues to move down lower. It's too late for me to make an entry, so I'm not going to enter this trade right here for the breakout. Unfortunately, I missed the entire move. Looks like it is pushing down. But if you guys are in this breakout right here, just make sure to move your stop loss and profit. I typically would have entered this, but the sessions was right there, and then it just moved down too fast. Unfortunately, I did miss this move. All right, so we'll follow it. Set the alert here for the breakout. So if you guys are taking it, great. So if you guys are taking the trade, you move your stop loss and profit, you already guaranteed profit, you should be good. If it hits full TP, then great. So you guys just got to be smart about your moves, especially on a Monday. So it's almost there. Nice. D actually caught it. And there you go with the full TP. So if you guys caught it right there, here goes your horns. Steve, I know you've been asking for these horns. You guys haven't heard them in a while. But there you go, full TP off the breakout. If you guys took it, if you guys moved your stop loss and profit, you should have hit full TP because you guaranteed profit as price moved below. Unfortunately, I missed the move because I was waiting for the retracement that didn't happen. So if you moved your stop loss and profit right here, it would have continued dropping, would have never came up and hit your stop loss, and then, you know, full TP on that move there. So great work to whoever caught it. And there you go. Breakout played out perfectly. So going back to my analysis over here, this here would have been a good sell because this would have fit the requirements here for the breakout. Overall bias wouldn't have been met, but we had the trend bias right here that met for the bearish bias. High-low continuation was met as well, as you can see right here. And then lastly, the high-low continue, the high-low reversal on the multi-time frame. This right here indicated on the 10-minute, we had a high here with the red candle, and we were looking for a sell. So that would have fit the requirements there. So if you look at the confluences here, everything here pretty much aligned. The only thing that didn't align was the overall bias, which is fine because, you know, it's over there's more confluences versus, you know, just the overall bias. We had bearish bias for the trend. Continuation was overlapping, high-low reversal candle was met. And that's pretty much it. That would confirm that it's a good entry to take for a sell. The reason why I entered kind of late, or I was thinking about entering late, was because this candle here was big. So I was expecting some sort of retracement. And then I was going to expect it to come back down. Unfortunately, I missed the entire move, but it looks like some of you guys here did take it. And if you guys followed my direction with moving your stop loss and profit, you should have guaranteed profit either way. So great work, guys. Steven over here said I made 637, entered a bit late. It's not bad, Steven. You still made your profit. I think your goal is 500 a day, right? So I'll just give you guys a little update here. And here we go as it continues to drop. So let me go ahead and just take a screenshot here so that you guys know to pull out of the trade. And don't get greedy here, guys. I mean, if you guys want to trail your stop and continue riding it further down, that's great. But I would probably just pull out, especially on a day like this, Monday. So I'll give you guys a little update right here. This is going to be the breakout. And if you guys have profits to post up, feel free to post them up. So let's see. Some people here posted their profits. Scotty over here took the breakout, locked in a total profit of 3,344. Nice work, Scotty. And then we have Arash over here. Arash said, my first blue trade with K2. Nice work, Arash. Arash took the breakout there as well. He let it hit his full TP, locking a total profit of 148 for the day. Great work, Arash. All right, guys. So solid work so far. If you guys have profits to post up, feel free. Then I'll add them to the list. I'll keep looking for some more scalps here, but as I mentioned, I'm not really looking to take any more scalps. We're just looking to focus on these breakouts. Pretty much just one trade a day with regard to like official trades because the market has been super choppy. So it's been a bit difficult to catch these smaller scalps throughout the session. But smooth move right there. Quick push. All right, Steven, we'll see you tomorrow. So let me see if there's anything else here. Take a look at the intraday real quick on the 10, see if there's anything here. So nothing on the intraday right now. Nothing on the 1 minute either. I'll clean this up a little bit. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to mark up the high lows so that we can identify areas of liquidity, because there's liquidity sitting all throughout. There, right there, right there. There, right there. Let's go down to the 30. There. The one day that I don't hop in comes right back down. But today's Monday, so it's a bit risky with the market movement. Just adjust this one right here. Let's move down to that point. Let's go down to the 10-minute right here. Solid. Solid. It's good. 5-minute. One minute. All right, so I got all the high lows here marked up. It's going to be easier for us to identify areas of liquidity. So I'll clean that up a little bit right there, back up a little bit. So let's see if price creates, another low over here. If price starts to retrace up a little bit, it creates another low. It's going to create an area of liquidity, which would be cool, because if that happens, then price might push from this point to obviously, this point down here. And then if it hits liquidity again right here, probably even a stronger push from that point. So we'll see how this plays out. Let's see, question from John or a message from John over here, or Jalon first. So Jalon said, I think it's where it broke above for London session. Nice, good to know. I'm gonna mark up. So here's a couple of things I need to mark up. I need to mark up opening price. I'm gonna start marking up opening price for London as well. I forgot, someone in the group mentioned that it's been, respecting it a lot of times when it comes back to it. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that up as well. It's going to be a good price point for us to pay attention to, especially when we want to be careful when taking trades. So I'm going to go over here to midnight real quick, which was London Open. All right, so London Open was right over here. All right, yeah, so price just broke below London Open right here. Looks like price might be dropping a bit lower, which is what we expected. So like, for example, here, if price does drop below, the next target area where price is going to push to is going to be this area of liquidity right here. One thing you want to keep in mind is that the London low is going to be right here, I believe. If I take off the lines here, you can see that, or this is the Asia low, the purple line down here. So there's going to be a sessions below there. There's going to be an area where, you might want to be careful for, but you guys can see where price is kind of rejecting off. The blue line I drew right here, no surprise, right? It's rejecting off London Open. So I think for these opening prices, I'll mark up New York, which is going to be right here, obviously, 6:30 a.m. And then again at London Open as well, just to give you guys better parameters as to where to be careful, where to watch out for, because the price does respect these price points right here. So let me check if there was any news this morning. I don't think there was, but better be safe. So yeah, nothing today on the 25th. There's a lot of news this week though. So there's going to be news on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with earnings coming out. But for today, not really much at all. So here goes, price starts to retrace back up. If I see any scalps along the way, I'll draw them up for you guys. Maybe I'll even hop in with cop into a couple of them with you guys as well. But I think at the moment, I'm going to be a little more careful with this here. So let's see, John said I back tested The 3-minute daily went back 30 trading sessions, 50-50 stop loss, has a 63.3% win rate if you ignore the trend, 68% win rate if you only take against the trend meter. If you do a 30 TP, 30 stop loss, win rate goes to 82% counter trend trades. If you want to improve that, do 30 TP, 50 stop loss, win rate is 91% if you take counter trend. Wow, that's crazy. So if you guys are here in the Zoom chat, John just kind of put down the his breakdown. He's back tested the 3-minute daily 30 trading sessions. That's a lot. It's 30 days back to back to back. And he has the percentages here. So just a reminder of like what he said right here. Basically, if you use the 50-50 stop loss and you ignore the trend, you just basically take whatever, first momentum signal comes up. He's locked in a 63.3% win rate. If you ignore the trend, or if you trade with the trend, it goes up to a 68.2% win rate. And then if you do a 30-30 instead of a 50-50, it's a smaller target, win rate goes to 82% if you go, I guess, either direction. And then if you want to improve that 30 TP, 50 stop loss, win rate is 91% if you take the counter trend, basically against the trend meter here. So we'll see if that becomes the case. There might be a counter trend entry right here, John. I'll follow it. I'm probably not going to take it. I don't like to counter trend trade. I think it's kind of dangerous sometimes depending on like how the market's moving, but I think it could play out here, John. And the reason for that is because there's a gap right here that needs to be filled, right? This gap is from open. Price dropped right here. It's got like a lot of room to push up right here just to cover that gap, right? So if we do get a buy signal, I think it should definitely push up at least 300 pips. So I mean, we'll follow it and we'll see. I don't think I'll take it myself, but I'll follow it. So there we go with the possible 3-minute daily. So I'll follow it right here, John, and then we'll see what pushes here, because the bias is still bullish. So like if you look at the bias here, it's still bullish. So this can actually play out pretty well. So we'll see if it plays out here. And maybe I'll take it with you guys, but I do find it to be a little bit risky. It's against the trend here, but it does need to fill that gap. So it might be enough space to actually catch the move here. Yeah, I'll take it with the trailing stop. I mean, make me feel a bit better about taking this trade here because it's just a bit risky, but we'll see. This candle has about 1:11 left. So I think I'll set a trailing stop maybe of probably set it to like 150. It's probably gonna be better to have it a bit closer just in case. Man, my freaking MCMO thing. It's tripping. All right, you got about 40. Yeah, so it's kind of pushed up a bit high. So I might take it with you guys, but I'll use like a trailing stop. Use these parameters that John kind of set up here. I think a trailing stop would be pretty solid. Looks like price is pushing back to open as well. It's opening price right there. So it can push up at least, enough to get to that opening price, which is going to be at least like 300 pips or close enough. And we'll see where it goes from here. So let's see. As it pushes up, closes. So it did close right there. See how far it goes up. I'll follow and see how far it pushes up from here. If anything, I'll probably catch it as it swings back up. It's kind of a big candle, so it looks like it might have to retrace a little bit, but I'll probably catch it as it swings back up with the trailing stop. I'll have a tight trailing stop though, 150 pips, because it's kind of close to that point. So let me go over here real quick and measure this right here. How far does it have? So opening price, about 240 pips. So let's take a look at the overall bias here. Still not in the position, but looking at the overall bias, looks like, okay, so it kind of weakened a little bit. It's at 55% short. So this kind of indicates that Well, it was 57 before, now it's 55. 55% short, indicating that there's, X amount of traders who are currently selling. We still want it to be about 60 to 65%. That's going to be the key zone. Looking over here at the fundamentals right now, fundamentals are currently, they're not very strong. They're at 57 points. So let's go back to this over here. So this is why I wouldn't want to take it, because it's a bit overextended. It still hasn't pulled up yet. Looking over here at the 3-minute, you can see right here that it's kind of swinging down. So I'm not in this position yet, guys. I was waiting for it to come back up. There's a couple red flags here. A couple red flags that this candle here is very large. Also, it's like right at this, it broke the sessions on this actual candle. So if you want to enter, maybe a late entry would be fine as it swings back up, because you can see price is swinging back down. Typically, when this candle is too big, price will come back to the half of the candle to retrace before swinging back up, or maybe even the full candle. If it swings back to the full candle, it'll stop you out before it actually pushes in profit, right? So that's why, I'd be a bit cautious with taking trades like this. The red flags still apply, so just keep that in mind. The red flags that I've given you guys in the past, they're still valid. It's, you should still keep an eye on them. So there's the red flags right there. Price, there's like, a lot of things here have met. Prices near sessions, also candle is too large. So things right there to keep in mind. So John, I'm not sure if you were trying to take this this 3-minute, but if you were to take it, I probably would have waited. This candle's just too big. So I'll see if it comes back up. Technically it hasn't hit the stop loss yet. If it hits the stop loss, I'm just going to ignore it completely. But I was waiting for it to pull, waiting for it to pull back. And then if it swings up, then maybe enter for a late entry, but not yet. It's still slightly alive. No. All right. So price actually pushed down to here. So I'm not going to take it for a late entry. It's too late. This is why I don't like to counter trend trade. So like, as John said, if you counter trend trade, sometimes it'll come and hit it. But for me, I don't like counter trend trading. Whenever I trade, I always have a bias. That's why when you look at my confluences over here, for the confluence checklist, I make sure that everything here is pretty much aligned. So using this as an example for like what John was referring to, for the 3-minute daily, overall bias here is bullish. So that's going to be okay for a buy. Current trend is bearish. So that's going to be, it's not going to apply. Looking for the high-low continuation. If you're looking for a buy here, there's no continuation, right? So that doesn't apply. And then lastly, looking for the high-low candle reversal. In order for me to take this buy here, I want to look on the 10, see if the low here is a green candle. It's not, right? It's a red candle. So with that said, 3 of the requirements here for the confluences don't align. So there's more confluences here for it not to work rather than for it to work. And that's why in this situation, I probably would have just ignored it. I use this with pretty much everything that I apply before I take any trades. I typically want the confluences to be in my favor. And also the red flags still apply here as well. So price is starting to swing back up. This is normal. And this is why, I typically tell you guys to wait for it to pull back a little bit. This is why I didn't take the breakout today, because I thought I was going to pull back like this. It didn't, however, this time. But you can see here on the 3, it did pull back. When you have a big candle like this, price typically pulls back to half the candle or the full candle entirely. And that's basically what happened here. Price retraced to basically almost the full candle, and then now it's swinging back up. So if you wanted to take the late entry, you could have taken it right here as it swings back up. But since price already would have technically hit the stop loss, I would have just skipped it. So because this would just invalidate the entire entry, right? Typically, when you're waiting for that retracement, you're pretty much just waiting for it to retrace back without hitting stop loss and then swinging back up. You're just being cautious and taking that late entry. So this here at the late entry, you would have made the entry at this point. As price swung back up, you'd have like a buy stop right here, but I'm not going to take it because it already technically hit stop loss. So if it was to hit stop loss here, it just would have pretty much invalidated the entire move. And you can see right here now, just pushing into profit. See how far it's pushed. And there he goes, it pushes up. So if I had my trailing stop right here, my trailing stop would have been 150 pips. So if I was to take this trade here for late entry, as price pushes up right here, now my trailing stop would move my stop loss and profit right here to guarantee 150 or guarantee break even. And then I would still have my TP set up here. So I'd pretty much aim for 3,000 profit, or it'd be at break even. So this is why it's key to use these trailing stops or during sessions like this, when the market's kind of choppy, because you basically would have guaranteed profits right here, but you also allowed yourself to reach full TP. So if I was to take this trade with a trailing stop, it would have probably stopped me out in profit already, because this price pushed up to here. My stop loss would have been pushed to right here, and I would have been stopped out in profit at 100 pips. It's not too bad, 1,000 profit. So just so that you guys can understand, how these trailing stops work, the reason why I use the trailing stops, and when is a good time to use them, when's a good time not to use them. When the market's choppy like this, it's good to use trailing stops to guarantee your position, guarantee your profits, guarantee break even. But when the market is moving smoothly, then you can stop using the trailing stops. So, all right. Other than that, I think that's it for right now. Let me see if there's anything else for me to look at here. Gotcha. Okay. So John said he took the momentum candle at 6:30. Yeah, Ross said I'd like to talk today because the market is so volatile. Yeah, this is why you guys got to be very careful about entering trades. And this is why I'm just sticking to basically the breakout, like one trade a day, right? Because the market's so volatile. There's a lot of entries that you guys can take. Like we have multiple strategies where you guys can take a lot of entries here. And you guys, there's reasons like when to wait for late entry or like when to enter right away. Because the market's so volatile. Like for the breakout, I didn't take the entry because it was too volatile. For this one right here, again, it was very volatile. So I would have waited for it to pull back and then shot up. So it just depends on like what strategy you're applying and, when you're planning on taking these entries, but you should expect the market to be pretty volatile this entire week. The reason for that is because we have earnings this week. A lot of big companies here are also in US30. So I think Boeing is in US30, Apple, Amazon, of course, Chevron, Procter & Gamble. So there's a lot of companies here that are going to be within US30, which will cause, quick movements. So you guys want to be a bit more cautious. So I think I'm going to be using a trailing stop pretty much all week. When the market starts to move smoother and it's not as choppy, then I'll take off the trailing stop and I'll just let it run to full TP when I do have that opportunity. So if you guys took the 3-minute here and you guys waited for that late entry, like I was trying to wait for, it would have hit your full TP. Obviously it's not going to count as a trade because I was telling you guys I decided not to take it after all. But if you guys did take it, it would have hit full TP. And make sure to keep in mind, red flags and the confluence checklist, because you guys want to be safe. You guys would rather be safe than sorry, especially with the market moving like this. So back to the 1 minute, let's see where it went to. Price did come back to opening price right here. And then we'll see now at this point, this will basically be the crossroads. This will determine whether price is going to continue pushing up or whether it's going to come back down, right? So looking at this here, price is going to do one of two things. It'll either continue pushing up higher and then knock out all this liquidity, or it's going to come back down and just come back down to this point. It'll create a big range. This will be the high, this will be the low, and it'll just keep ranging until it chooses its direction. So just gonna go with the flow. So if you guys have any questions or you guys want me to analyze anything, feel free to let me know. But as I mentioned, I'm not looking to really take any of these scalps here unless I see something that's really good. I'm going to be very conservative with my trading, and I'm just going to stick to the breakouts, because I want to show you guys that it's possible to pass your challenges and stay funded if you just take the breakouts, right? A lot of people here have issues with staying consistent, because what happens is they'll make profit off the breakout and then they'll take these riskier scalps that they don't, and you're not really analyzing it completely, and you end up losing all your profit. So I want to show you guys that, just documenting the breakouts, that it's very possible to pass your challenge and to stay funded. If you're risking a 2% profit risk per trade, you only need about 5 breakouts to pass your challenge, right? It's not that difficult. You have a whole month and we're taking the breakouts every single day. You should have no problem reaching that point. So I just want to show you guys that it's possible, so that you guys can understand that less is sometimes better. You can just take 1 trade a day with proper risk management, pass your challenge, and be fine and consistent, versus taking like 10 or 20 trades a day and having a lot of back and forth. So I'm trying to like maximize your guys' possibility of passing your challenge, and I want you guys to do it on your own, like so that you guys can see that you guys can really do this. So yeah, Maddie said sometimes less is more, and I agree. Yeah, John said breakout works. I did the breakout only strategy on demo account. It won the challenge. Yeah, no, definitely, John. I'm trying to show you guys that like if you guys use proper lot sizing, proper risk, and you just take one trade a day, because this strategy has a very high win rate. So it has definitely above a 50%. And this trade has a 1-to-1. So it's like less riskier because if you lose one trade, you're going to make it back on the next one. From our back test, I haven't seen any back-to-back losses for the breakout. It's been on, either back-to-back wins, or you'll have like 2 wins and 1 loss and then another 2 or 3 wins. So you'll be able to bounce back from it. So if you guys want me to analyze any other like scalps here, like if you guys are still looking to enter scalps at this point, just let me know and I can analyze it for you. So before the scalp comes up, just let me know. I'll analyze it. I'll show you guys how risky it is, how probable it is that it's going to hit. And then you guys can make the decision whether you want to take the trade or not. I'm not going to take the trade because, as I mentioned, I'm doing this little experiment with you guys with just the breakouts that are going to be identified. And then we'll calculate it at the end of the week, at the end of the month, and we'll see how well does it do with how we apply it. Yeah, no, definitely iPhone. So yeah, if there's anything you guys want me to cover, just put it in the chat. I will be looking for scalps, but I'm not going to be taking them. So I just want to see how many people will get funded and how many people will pass their challenges this. I guess we could start it in August because it's already end of July. But in August, I'll just document like, how many people pass their challenges, how much profit everyone makes just by taking the breakout. But you guys are welcome to apply whatever strategies you guys want. If you guys want to keep applying the intraday strategy here too, you guys can do that as well. If I see an intraday entry right here, I will identify it, mark it up. We'll also look at the daily entry here too, possibly with the other parameters. Let's see. Question from Maria. Maria is asking, are we going to have the mentoring session today? So yes and no, Maria. So I do want to hold a mentoring session today, but today I'm taking delivery of my new car, the Porsche that I was getting, guys, the Taycan. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to be if I'm going to be available later today. They're going to let me know if the car is available yet. So if the car is available, I probably won't be. I won't be at my desk, so I can't do the mentoring session. I'll let you guys know. If you guys, if anything, I think we'll just hold it later in the week. I don't want to keep you guys waiting. So what I'm going to do later today is I'm gonna call my brand ambassador at Porsche. I'm gonna see if like the car is ready. If it's ready, then we'll postpone the mentoring session. But if not, we'll do it today. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, no, I've been waiting for that car for like 3 months. There's been a recall on like port on the Taycan, so I'm just waiting for them to fix the recall before I can take delivery. So I'll try to let you guys know as soon as possible. But yeah, if anything, we'll set it later today. I'll set a poll in the group for like whenever you guys want to have the what day would you like the K2 group session held? All right, guys. So I'll just put the days over here. Monday, July 25th, 2 p.m. I'll just give you guys the option because I know a lot of you guys want to have it held on different days, and I try to make it as open to all you guys. So the day that you guys can attend the session, I know not everyone can attend Mondays, but I'll put a poll here so that you guys can vote, and I'll try to make myself available for that day. I should be able to be available, but all right. So I'll put this poll here in the group, guys. If you guys want to choose your day, feel free. And then I'll just check my calendar to see if I could be available. But I'm pretty sure I could make myself available for you guys. Nelly over here, he took two trades on the 3-minute daily. He locked in a pretty heavy profit. Nice work, Nelly. So Nelly actually took the trade here for that 3-minute that I marked up. So the trade here for the buy, and Nelly took it for a late entry. Like I mentioned, he kind of just waited for it. And then when it came back, he took it. He took one here with a trailing stop, and he took this one. He let this one run. So full profit from a Nelly over here for 7,068 off the 3-minute daily. Nice work, Nelly. So guys, I put the poll here in the group. So if you guys are in the premium, just vote for whichever day you guys want, and then I'll confirm it. B over here said today's breakout. So B took the breakout today. He's currently at an 80% win rate. Nice work, B. So B over here took the breakout from today, locked in a total profit of 1,695. Total profit for the week looks like 5,117. So 80% win rate for B. He's just taking the breakout. Solid work right there. And this is just, showing you guys that, if you take the breakout here, this is a 1-to-1%, 1-to-1 strategy, right? So he's at 80% win rate. He's pretty much like heavy in profit because he's had only like, I guess, 2 losses. Probably if he took like 10 trades, 8 wins, 2 losses, and he's still in profit pretty heavily right here. So if you guys can do this consistently, I mean, you guys should have no problem, passing your challenge, getting funded, and staying consistent after you're funded. So nice work, B. Glad to see that you locked in some pretty good profit off that. David over here as well. David said, it's not a lot, but I learned thanks to your trading is like a marathon. See you tomorrow, Sean. So definitely David over here locked in 12 bucks, which is not bad. He's on a smaller account, but he took the trade and made profit both ways. He took the breakout here, made a 160, and then he took the 3-minute daily for 10 bucks right here. So that's not bad, David, because once you start to get more consistent and you start to increase your lot size, this will turn into like 120. And then from there, it turns to 1,200 as you continue to increase your lot size. So nice work, David. It's just all about the consistency, guys. Rashida over here as well. She looks like she took the breakout over here. And then she took the 3-minute daily. Total profit of 789 for the day. Nice work, Rashida. All right, solid profit so far, guys. If you guys have more profit to post up, feel free. Otherwise, I'll keep looking for any possible scalps here. Looks like market is now kind of just choppy and ranging at the moment. So from this point, you can see not really much is happening. Price is kind of just ranging from here, which is kind of what we were expecting. Yeah, no, definitely, John. Johnson Sycon's a good looking car. One of the best selling sports cars at Porsche. Yeah, no, definitely. It's been a long wait, so I'm like kind of antsy to get the car ready. All right, so price here is now ranging, guys, on the 1 minute. I don't really see anything else going on here. Looking at the 10, there's nothing here that's come up either. So just a reminder, guys, for the intraday strategy, if you guys are still trying to apply it, you guys can look for it. This trade it doesn't come up very often. There was a lot of signals here yesterday in pre-market, but they didn't fit the requirements. You need the high-low continuation here. You need basically the lows to not overlap. These two overlap here, so there was no entry there for a buy. And then vice versa, there was no entry here for a sell because these overlapped over here as well. So I'll continue looking for these intraday entries for you guys, but they don't come up very often. So again, right here, we have a pending buy signal off this candle. But even if this candle here closed with the buy signal, this wouldn't meet the requirements. It would be an intraday entry, but the requirements 2 and 3 right here wouldn't be met because you need to make sure that these lows don't overlap, and this low over here overlaps with this one. So unfortunately, this would not be an intraday entry. I think during the week, it'll start to smoothen out, and then you can start to look for entries. But right now, currently, there isn't anything at the moment. For this intraday, you can still take the daily, though. I know this daily has a fixed TP stop loss of 1,500. I think we're going to change that to 1,000 during the summer because the volatility is a lot lower. So looking at this here for the daily entry, this could possibly be a daily that you guys can take if you wanted to take it. Keep in mind that, as I mentioned, I'm not going to be taking it because I'm going to be a lot more cautious with my entries here, specifically because I'm just taking the breakout and that's about it. But yeah, if you wanted to take this here, this would be the daily entry. If you want to go over the confluence checklist again, overall bias is bullish. Reason for that is because retail sentiment is currently 56% short. So this is indicating to take buys. Looking at the fundamentals over here, fundamentals are currently up 91 points. It's not very strong. Bias is currently bullish, but it's not a strong bullish bias. It's basically a light to neutral bullish bias. Looking over here at the technicals, so no, this candle didn't close. The technicals here are also bullish. The green pivot's above the red one. Trend meter is green. There's no high-low continuation. There's no high-low candle reversal. But this would be a V3. So there's about 3 confluences that are met right here, but it's not going to be a very strong entry because there's still 2 that don't meet the requirements. Yeah, no, E said looks good for a reverse entry. Yeah, no, it could. It technically could if the trend starts to shift, which it's trying to shift here, but it hasn't shifted yet. So no buy signal there, so no entry for the daily. Looks like volatility is kind of gonna. It looks like it's pretty much gonna die down a little bit. Yeah, there hasn't really been much here, and we'll see if it closes. But I'll just put the requirements up here again so that you guys can, if you guys want to follow along, we'll follow it. But I'm not going to take it myself, guys. So I'm going to stick to the breakout. And this will just help you guys understand discipline too. Like if you guys set a trading plan, you guys got to stick to it. For me, my trading plan is just breakout. That's about it. I'll look for other entries, but I'm not taking them on my own account. Just to show you guys the consistency here. Yeah, definitely B. Keep it up. So B right here will also be like one of the samples because B over here is taking the break. Yeah, I know he's taking other trades, but for just the breakout, he has 80% win rate, it looks like, I think. So if anyone else wants to be a sample as well, then great. But I'm pretty sure that if you guys just stick to the breakout in the morning, you guys should have no problem passing. And if you guys use the trailing stop like I've been kind of indicating, you guys should have no problem with that either. So yeah, there's nothing right now at the moment. This here still hasn't closed. It's got about a minute left on this candle. So if this closes, I'll mark it up so that you guys can follow it. But you know, as I mentioned, there isn't. It's not a strong entry. It does have overall bias, current trend. However, it doesn't have a high-low continuation, and it doesn't have the high-low candle reversal present. Additional strategy confluence. This is a V3 right here. So this does confirm that this might be a reversal back to the upside. If you guys are familiar with the variation strategies, basically all these variation patterns are just reversal patterns. So you can see right here, this is a V3. After this is closed, price did push to the upside, right? And then vice versa. If you look over here, this is a V1, right? It's a double body rejection. It's followed by a sell signal. These are just reversal patterns. So if you look at any of the K2 variation entries, you can see this is a V1. And then after that has confirmed, price just comes right down, right? So that's why we're using these requirements here, because these requirements just confirm the direction. So like, for example, right here, there's another V1. And you can see from this V1, price pushes all the way to the upside, right? It's a reversal pattern. So like we're looking for these variations and these confluences here for a reason. They're not just like random things to look at. Like they're just confirmations indicating that, okay, price is probably going to keep pushing that direction. The buy signal here didn't close, so there's no daily entry yet for the 10-minute. This one here might be it. And the requirements here are still pretty much the same. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. You know, this is, if there's anything that you guys are looking at, like if you guys are on the 1 minute right now and you see something that you want to take, Just drop the trade in the chat. I can analyze it for you right here real time and show you how risky it is or how not risky it is, and if you guys should probably take it or not. But just make sure that you fully analyze it. So I think that's a problem with a lot of people who are taking these scalps, is that you guys aren't fully analyzing the trade. Like you'll see a variation here and you're just automatically sold on taking it. Like there's a variation right here, right? I'll analyze this for you real quick. There's a variation right here, but this is not a variation that I would take. I could already tell because this candle here is too big. So let me just go back to this candle right here and I'll just analyze it for you, because I could already see a lot of people looking to take this variation here without fully analyzing it. So looking over here at the requirements for the variation, confirm the overall bias, it's bullish. Confirm the high low, there's a low right here. Confirm the low is a red candle. It is a red candle right there. Confirm the following candle, it's opposite, it's green. Confirm pending momentum. There is a pending momentum here because the previous signal is a sell momentum. And then you would enter right here for a buy, right? So pretty much the maximum stop loss for the 1 minute is going to be 500 pips. This here exceeds it. It's 590 pips. So that's like one red flag why I would ignore this trade here. Another couple ones that I would ignore here would be because of the red flags. So looking at the red flags, you want to make sure price is not near opening price. It's like right at opening price right here off this candle. So that's one red flag. Second red flag is this candle prior to entry. This green candle is too large. This is way too big. You compare this candle compared to the others, and this candle right here is a 600 pip candle past your stop loss if you were to take this trade. And that's risky because price is likely to retrace a little bit before coming back up, right? If it retraces the full candle, it's going to stop you out. Or if it retraces to the high low, it's going to stop you out before it actually pushes up. So two red flags right there. Price is near opening price. Candle's too large. And the stop loss requirement is just way too wide. So that's why I would have skipped this as a V3. A lot of people, they don't look at everything here. They just see a V3 and they take the trade. They don't look at the red flags. They don't look at the minimum stop loss requirement. And they just take it. And that's why people end up losing trades, because you need to fully analyze the trade to make sure everything here is met. But even so, if you were to align those right there, the next thing you want to look at is the confluence checklist. And this is pretty much everything I look at. I'm able to look at it really quickly because I already have these things in mind. Overall bias is bullish. That's okay. That'll fit the requirement. Current trend is bearish, or it's neutral because the pivots here is bearish. Trend meter is green. So that's not going to apply. High-low continuation, that applies, that's fine. High-low candle reversal, go over to the 10-minute. The low needs to be a green candle. So with that said, that doesn't meet the requirements. And you guys can see how risky this trade here is already, right? Just like looking at everything that lines up. Lastly, additional strategy confluence. If you look back to not this one, but the one prior, this here is not a variation at all. It might be an engulfing candle, but it's not a variation. So with that said, all the confluences here have not aligned. There's only two confluences, there's two red flags, and the minimum stop loss requirement isn't met. So that's like one of the reasons why I wouldn't take this as the V3. And you can see right here, price hasn't really done much. It's kind of just ranging. So I would have just skipped this trade and I would have been happy skipping it because it's not really doing much. So that's how I would analyze this trade right here. If there's anything you want me to analyze, guys, just put it in the chat and I can help you guys with it. My main goal here is to make sure that you guys are taking all steps to pretty much maximize your probability of winning. Trading is all about probability, right? You want to take the trades that have high probability chance of winning versus low risk. I mean, not low risk, but low probability of it actually hitting. So right here, you can see prices retracing down. And here's the key places where I can see the retracement happening. Retracement is either going to happen to the middle of this candle, which is right here. I'll color this a different color like red, or the full candle right here. So when the candle is too big like this, price typically comes down, or retraces to either the middle of the candle, or it'll retrace down to the full candle before making its correction back to the upside. And that's why I avoid trades that have these big candles right here. So All right, if there's any other questions, guys, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'll keep looking for any possible entries here. I just don't see anything good at the moment. Price is really just ranging at, like right now, if you guys can see here, the same range that I drew earlier is still kind of pushing through. So price is literally just ranging between this high and this low. There's just a big range. Let's see, 10-minute over here. This thing still didn't close. There's no entry for the 10-minute. Looking at the 5-minute over here, I know some of you guys like to apply the entries here on the 5. Nothing here. It's possible V3 coming up right here. How big is this candle? This is too big again. Minimum requirement or the max requirement 75 points. It's 83 right here. 3-minute. There's actually a V3 right here on the 3-minute. It already hit full TP. 1 minute. Still nothing here. So let me just move this a bit lower. But the range is still continuing. She's bouncing back up right now. See, Jansen said, this is the chat to talk. Correct. So Jansen said to identify this right here. I can't even see what this is. I think it's US30. Yeah, Jansen. So if you guys are on the YouTube stream and you guys have questions, if we don't have questions here on the Zoom, Zoom's always going to have priority, of course, because these are the premium members. But if you guys are on the YouTube and you guys have questions, just put them here in the Telegram. I'm here to help you guys out. Like, it doesn't matter if you guys are premium or not. I still want to help you guys out. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and just put them over here. Jansen wants me to analyze this real quick. Yeah, it's no problem, Jansen. Yeah, if you have the time frame, just put it on there and I'll analyze it for you. Because I'm free to analyze whatever you guys want me to. If you guys want me to analyze any other pairs too, feel free. Now that I'm only taking a breakout, I can answer whatever questions you guys have. If you guys want me to analyze different pairs using my confluences and my checklist and stuff like that, I can do it for you. It's just I just need to figure out like which one you guys want me to take a look. Yeah, no problem, Jansen. So Charles over here sending his profits. He looks like he took a buy here at 6:45. I think Charles took the buy off the 3-minute. He locked in a total profit of 452. Nice work, Charles. So it looks like he took a late entry off that 3-minute and locked in 452 off that. So nice work right there. Charles, let's see. Shannon said, I sat out last week and watched. Now I'm in profit and positive on my challenge. Nice work, Shannon. So yeah, Shannon over here took a bit of a break. She came back today, locked me a total profit of 384 for the day. Nice work, Shannon. Cool. Patricia over here as well. Patricia over here locked in a total profit of 2,410. Looks like she kind of waited a little later as well with the entries, but solid profit for the day here. Nice work, Patricia. She's up 2,410. Maddie over here as well. Maddie locked in a total profit of 790. Nice work, Maddie, off this account. And then 1,850 off this account. Great work, Maddie. Jenny over here as well. Jenny took the breakout earlier this morning. She took it at 631. Nice profit here. You moved your stop loss and profit, locked me a total profit of 3,062 for the day. Great work, Jenny. Nice. Looks like a lot of you guys actually took the breakout. I didn't notice that all you guys did take it, but you guys did do pretty solid. Steven over here said it's okay that I entered a bit late today. Yeah, it's okay, but it's glad to see you locked profit. All right, so Steven over here. So I think you're doing. So Steve, I think you should probably. I don't know if you're still in the room, but you should probably just focus on maybe one trade, Steve, because it looks like you triple dipped into the trade here, which is okay when it works, but when it doesn't work, it increases your risk. You took 3 different trades here. Thankfully, it played out because it did push in your direction, but it's not always going to be that way, right? So Steven over here took the breakout, took 3 separate trades. He let them all hit profit, total profit of 637. So guys, I don't recommend you guys like enter multiple positions like this unless you like really know what you're doing, right? If you know how to enter the trades on the retracement or pullback, then yeah, do it. But if not, just take one position and then basically control that one, because this is a higher risk. You basically took like 15 lots here. I don't even take 15 lots myself. I take 8 lots. So this here was super, super risky in my perspective, unless, let me see when his entries came in. Yeah, he took these all at the same time. Looks like he kind of just got, he just got flirted and entered like 3 sells. Yeah, this is a little too risky right here, Steven. So using proper risk, I don't know if you're on a 200K or 100K account, but this is like, this is way too risky. So I'll talk to you later, Steven, if you're still on here, but just try to be a bit more more in control of your trades. Ross over here as well. So Ross traded NASDAQ and US30. Looks like did pretty well for the day overall, 4,325. Just looking at the timestamps over here. So you took your first trade over here for US30 at 640. Looks like you might have taken the 3-minute daily, hit your TP right there. This one over here looks like it hit your stop loss, like maybe an accident, but everything else over here caught up for it. So total profit of 4,325 for the day. Great work, Ross. And Ross is the one that basically told me about the trailing stop. So thanks, Ross, for the tip there. Ross has been using a trailing stop and he's been doing pretty good, pretty much guaranteed profits almost every time. And then he minimizes his risk here as well for these other trades. So great work, Ross. Other than that, let me see if there's anything else. All right, so nothing else at the moment. But here's the poll for the mentoring session. So thanks guys for not voting for today. It looks like majority of you guys asked for Tuesday. So I think Tuesday might be okay. Hopefully the car is ready for today so I can just pick it up and it'll be good for tomorrow. But if it gets pushed back to tomorrow, we'll just have to put up another poll. But it looks like the second highest voted day would be Friday. So just make sure, guys, if you guys haven't voted on it, there's only 7 votes. So just make sure you guys vote so that we have an idea as to like what day would be best. I think Friday would probably be best because that's probably gonna be far enough for me to have that timeline. But yeah, whatever you guys vote for, I'll try to make it work. But if you guys have any questions right now, feel free to put them in the chat. My job here is to help you guys out, help you guys become, as consistent as you guys can be. The only way to do that is to get help. So if you guys have any issues with analyzing, if there's anything that's confusing you guys, just put your questions in the chat and I can help you guys out with whatever you guys need help with. But right now you guys can see there's not really much going on. The range is still pushing through the same range that I drew earlier right here. It just got wider. So it just got wider right there and it's still ranging within this area. This is not a good time to be trading when price is ranging. Just a reminder, today we have this week we have earnings. There's nothing today, but on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, there's going to be a lot of earnings. So with that said, this is going to be beneficial for us because when there's earnings, it's not going to be ranging like this. We're going to have pretty big pushes on open. So that's going to be beneficial for our breakouts as well. But other than that, there's not really much for us to look at here on the 1 minute. Looking at the 3 minute, there's nothing here either. 5 minute, there's nothing that I can see here. 10 minute, this still hasn't closed. So there's still no daily entry for the 10 minute as well. So there really isn't much for us to look at here. Today is Monday, so just keep in mind that this is normal. Volatility is either going to be really low or really high on Mondays. Monday and Fridays are typically the riskier days to trade. The reason for Monday is because the market's been closed for 2 days and sometimes you get a flood of orders on market open like this right here. Market open at 6:30, you had the flood of orders where price dropped and it just corrected back up. And then now it's just going sideways. Same with Friday. On Friday, you can see, where's the Friday market? Friday market was right here on the 22nd. So you guys can see, you guys get a flood of orders towards the end of the session. So price kind of pushed down a little bit and then it had a heavy push right here towards the end, because everyone was trying to get out before the weekend. So Fridays and Mondays are typically going to be some of the riskier days to trade because you're going to get a lot of this manipulation of people entering and exiting the market right away for the weekend or for the open of the week. But yeah, nothing here off the 10, nothing off the 5, nothing off the 3, and also nothing here off the 1. I don't see any other scalps here either. But either way, I mean, if you're looking for a scalp here, you don't want to be scalping when prices ranging. The one good thing that I see here is that the range is getting tighter. So this is the wide range. But you can see here that the range is actually getting tighter. So when the range gets tighter like this, it's just preparing for a squeeze, right? If you guys are familiar with like how the squeeze happens, basically price squeezes and then it breaks out. So right here, it's now breaking out to the bottom. Price squeezed, and then whenever it squeezes like that, it just prepares for a breakout. So let's see if this continues to drop lower. It hit liquidity right here. Now it's starting to dump. Price is now rejecting off the sessions down here. And it's continuing to drop right back to opening price. Target price point is going to be right here at opening price, this blue line. Actually, this is London open, never mind. But I mean, it's still considered opening price. This would be London open. And this would be New York open. Just so there's no confusion here. But yeah, price did squeeze right here. Now it's breaking out to the bottom. Whenever price breaks out like this, don't chase the candle. What you want to look for is a continuation. So let's analyze this now for a possible sell if you're to think about entering this at some point. Price did break below. So let's take a look at a couple of things. Where's the trend at? Trend is currently bearish, right? Pivot red is above pivot green. Trend meter here is red. One thing that you want to be careful for is this candle here is too huge, right? It's a huge candle. It's about 920 pips. Price was just ranging for a bit, and then it just had a huge spike right here for 920 pips. The thing that you want to be careful for is a retracement. Price might retrace to the halfway mark right here. Full retracement is 920 pips. Half retracement is probably like 50 points right there. And you can see it how this candle is starting to swing back up. So area of retracement is going to be somewhere around this point, or the full candle somewhere at this point. So this is what you're looking for. We had this big push right here, right? Now you're waiting for it to retrace up. So you're looking for it to retrace up and confirm. So basically we're waiting for it to come up, reject off the sessions right here, and then continue down. If this happens, then you can be okay for some sells. Or vice versa, if price swings up here, price might come up, test the opening price, and then continue back down. You can see right here that prices are tracing back up just like we anticipated. There's no surprise because whenever you see a big candle like this, don't chase it. Wait for the retracement, confirmation, and continuation back to the downside. It's all about patience and discipline, waiting for this to actually play out. And it played out exactly how I mentioned. If you guys remember I drew up this area right here, which is the halfway mark. There goes the confirmation. It's basically a break and retest. Price broke below. It's retesting. Now you want to wait for the confirmation. If you have a confirmation, then great, take some sells. If not, then wait for that confirmation. Otherwise, you'll get caught in some drawdown and price might continue going against you. Yeah, no problem, Randy. Randy said, thanks, Sean. I'm done for the day. See you tomorrow. Definitely, Randy. We'll see you tomorrow. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, if you guys want me to cover anything, let me know. If there's anything about this analysis here that I just marked up that you guys want me to clear up for you, if there's any confusion, let me know as well. I want to help you guys as much as possible, but I can't really pinpoint what you guys need help with unless we get any questions regarding something like that. So let's see. John said, first day on demo account, I will take the breakout and 3-minute daily. Okay, nice. Perfect, John. So John's going to be our sample for the breakout and daily on the 3-minute. So on this account here for John, he's going to be taking just the breakout and the 3-minute daily. So John will pretty much be our sample when following the type of results that you guys can possibly reach applying the breakout and the 3-minute daily. So thanks for doing that, John. That's gonna be great because then you guys will have you guys will be able to identify whether you want to take one or the other or both. So great profit there, 3,590 off this. E's asking, how did he make profit off 3-minute daily if it hit stop loss, or did he take it in reverse? So looking at his trade right here, he took the buy. So he did take the 3-minute daily, but it looks like what he did here is he waited for it to pull back and then he entered it late, like how I was planning on doing it. But I didn't take it because it went past the stop loss. So like from there, it just invalidated my entry. But for John here, it looks like he still took it even though it invalidated it. But yeah, looking at the timestamp right here, 1651. So 651, let me go over here real quick. Yeah, so he entered it here when it came back up. He just looking at the timestamp, his entry came up later. And he let it go to TP, 651 right here. Yeah, so he waited for it to swing back up. He basically just waited for it to go back up in profit. So as you guys remember from the 3-minute daily here, I mentioned I was going to wait for it to swing up before entry. And that's pretty much what John did. He just waited for it. It did come down, but then when it came back up, he made his entry there. And then from there, it pushed up and hit his TP right there, 651. All right, so that's cool. I mean, if anybody else wants to be a sample, I can't be the sample, of course, because I'm only taking the breakout. But if you guys want to sample it and you guys want to be that person to identify certain entries, like if you guys just want to take the daily, you guys can be the person that does that. But this will be beneficial to everybody, right? It'll be beneficial to the person testing it because it'll build their trade psychology to just take that one trade. And it'll be beneficial for us because we'll get the actual results from the person taking that trade. Yeah, it's up to you guys if you guys want to do it. I would do it, but I'm doing like a lot of things at once with this live, so I can't really take trades on the 10, take trades on the 5, and take trades, 10, 3, and 1 at the same time. I think just sticking to the breakout will be perfectly fine. So, all right, here's the setup here that I was marking up, guys. So here's the confirmation. You're basically waiting for price to break and close below this low right here, right? So here goes the this candle that broke out of the range. So this was the range right here. This was the range right here. Price broke and closed below it. There's a retest off the sessions, and now you're waiting for it to confirm below. If price breaks below here, then I'm expecting it to drop lower. If you guys remembered from earlier this morning, the targets are down here. So if the bearish bias is confirmed and it continues dropping below this point, this is going to be the next target area for it to hit. This is going to be the area of liquidity. Looks like it's coming down. So yeah, we can continue following it here. But at the moment, I just don't see anything right now currently. Medusa, thanks, Sean. See you all tomorrow. Yeah, definitely. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Same place, same time. Barack over here, he said, join the party late. Made it a little bit, looking for some more. Nice work, Barack. So Barack over here took the sell earlier, locked in a total profit of 269. Nice work, Barack. Let's see. E said, I'm waiting to get a daily for a reverse entry. Hopefully one comes up. Yeah, no, definitely. It might happen like it'll happen eventually, probably, because. So here's the key thing to look for here also in the 10-minute. I'll draw the. So here's one thing that you might want to look for if it creates. So you can see here how it's creating lows. If this creates a low like down here, it's going to create an area of liquidity, right? So if it pushes down a little bit, creates an area of liquidity, and then pushes back up, and it establishes that low there, then this would be liquidity, and it'd probably continue dropping. So that's going to be one of the key points to probably look for. The low here is a little too high, so I wouldn't really consider this, an area of liquidity. But if it comes down there, and this is how you can kind of just weigh the pros and cons, right? You can determine whether price is going to reverse, like you mentioned, or if price is going to continue dropping. If it creates an area of liquidity, then we can expect, the drop to probably happen at some point. That's kind of like what happened right here. So here's an example of what I'm just kind of referring to. So price kind of retraced up a little bit, right? Here's a low. It's the same pattern that I just drew up right now, but this happened on a different day. So price kind of retraced up a little bit. And then when it comes down, it creates an area of liquidity right there. This is where you can confirm if it's going to continue dropping. So the liquidity gets built up right there. This is going to be a target area for price to hit. As price pushes up a little bit, or gets pushed down a little lower. There's the area of liquidity. As price pushes up, when it makes its way back down, odds are it's going to continue dropping. So retraces up, comes back down. Here's the target. If that becomes the entry point right there, price comes down, hits it. Quick little push. Gets close to it right there. And liquidity. So this is the setup that I pretty much drew right here. If this happens and it comes back down, then I'm expecting it to maybe hit the next level. So it's the same pattern, it just repeats itself. So the low is still pushing right there. All right, so it looks like it is establishing liquidity. So now you're just waiting for the retracement at this point. This candle here closes in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. As it retraces up, this is going to be your target area. If it's this point, price is probably going to drop from there to the next low right there. So this will help you identify both sides. So whenever you guys are analyzing a trade, you should always analyze it in both directions. If you're looking for a sell, analyze it for any possible reversal for a buy. If you're analyzing it for a buy, analyze it for any possible reversal for a sell, right? You guys just want to understand the analysis in both directions. Even if you're looking for one directional trades, you want to make sure that there's no possibility of any reversal on your end. So like, for example, right here, this is going to be another thing for you guys to focus on if you guys are looking for a buy, like what he's looking for. Heg said, thanks, guys. Thanks, Sean. See you tomorrow. Definitely, Heg. We'll see you tomorrow morning. So, see, Maddie said, I might buy a 100K FTMO account that only takes breakouts. Yeah, I mean, if you feel comfortable with it, Maddie, you might as well. That's basically what I'm doing. I'm taking all my accounts on it, though. So, I'm kind of taking a lot more risk, but I do trust that it's going to work. And since I'm doing it for a one-to-one, it should be fine. As long as the win rate's above 50%, which it is, I mean, it should be fine, right? Because if you do take one loss, the next trade is most likely going to win. So definitely something to keep in mind. All right, so there's nothing here off the 10. It established a liquidity zone right here. So basically an area of liquidity. If price does come back down, this candle has about 50 seconds left on it. If you guys are looking for any liquidity areas, this would be the area of liquidity right here on the 10. So if price comes down and touches it, expect it to come down and break through. Let's go back over here to the 1 minute. So yeah, I'm expecting it to come down lower. You can see here that it confirmed the drop. So I think the bias here is bearish, obviously. I need to go on the higher time frame and mark up that area of liquidity below there. Or actually, we already have it here on the 1. So the area of liquidity is already established. So looking at this right here, if price comes back below here, it's probably going to continue dropping. So this is going to be the area to look out for right there. I'm expecting it to probably continue dropping from that point. Yeah, looks like it'd be pretty solid. Let's see. You said, but is it 1-to-1 if you're doing? Yeah, no, it's not gonna be a 1-to-1 if you do trailing stop. But for that, we're only doing trailing stop while the market's still choppy. So if you did do a trailing stop for the last 3 trades, it would have hit stop, or not the last 3, but the 3 before today, it would have hit stop loss, right? So you would have been in loss. So when the market's choppy, I'm using the trailing stop. And when the market does become smoother, I'm going to let it run. It's basically just, so today was kind of smooth, right? Today was a smooth day. I'm going to count this as a smooth day. Typically from my back test, if you see like 2 or 3 smooth days, the rest of the week is going to be smooth. If it's choppy like the first 2 days, it's going to continue to be choppy for the rest of the week. So me being conservative, I'm testing the market to see if it's going to be smooth or not, right? Today was smooth. If tomorrow's smooth, then I'm just not going to use a trailing stop, and then it'll be a 1-to-1. But either way, the win rate's pretty high. I think for like the whole month of July. Let me see if I still have it here. I don't know if I have it right now, but drive.google.com. Let me see if I can find it here. I want to get the numbers. Yeah, and I'm only risking 2%. So either way, even if I'm using a trailing stop, I'm still locking in like close to 1% if I'm doing the 200 pip trailing. So either way, I'm still locking in like around 1%. So I guess it'd be a 1-to-2. But I'd rather lock in that than have any possible losses. So looking over here. Yeah, so just looking at the month of, I don't have it all marked up here. So I have it up until the 15th. I got to update this. But here, let me see. I have about, and this is taking every single trade. Breakout. I have up until the 18th. So looking at this right here. Actually, no, I don't have it. Sorry, guys. Maddie, I don't know if you have the back test for July. I think you were writing it down, right? But I remember from our back test, there was only like 1 loss. So it was about like a 90% win rate for the, yeah, I don't know if you have the numbers, Maddie. I don't have it updated on mine. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so Maddie said he back tested the entire month of July. There was only 1 loss, but it would have been skipped because it didn't meet the requirements. Gotcha. Okay, so Maddie said basically he back tested the entire month of July, and there was 1 loss, but it wasn't a clear entry because the confluences were like 50-50. So if that's the case, then even if you're using a trailing stop, I mean, you'd still be in profit, and the win rate is the win rate's from the full entry, no retracement. Because when we're back testing, you can't wait for the retracement on there. You just basically enter right away. So that's just from like taking it right away. That's why lately I've been taking, well, aside from today, I don't know why today like it was different for me, but the previous days, so on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of last week, I just took the trade. I didn't even think about waiting for the retracement, except Friday actually. Friday was an accident, but Wednesday and Thursday, I just took the trades like right on open. So the back test is from full entry. No wait for retracement. So it's like entering right when the candle closes, waiting, allowing it to go into drawdown, and then shooting back into profit. So yeah, I think that's what Maddie did. Yeah, E-City, I thought you usually wait for retracement if the candle is 50 pips above, but today was like, yeah, exactly. So it was moving too quickly. If the candle is too big, then I wait for retracement. But if it isn't, then you can just take it right away. It was just the candle here was just moving too fast, so I couldn't hop into it. I think that's one of the requirements, isn't it? Or I forgot, because me and Maddie were looking at different things that we can include in the breakout. Typically, when the candle is too big, if it's like over 500 pips, it's usually going to either be a really iffy candle or it's going to like retrace pretty hard. So I think that's going to be one of the requirements we're going to add to it. If it's over 500 pips, which is a stop loss, we probably want to wait for it to retrace a little bit. I think for today it was smaller, right? Let's see, 630. Yeah, it was close, but it looked big when we were analyzing it. Yeah, it was pretty close to it. It was 470 pips this entire candle. So that's why I was iffy on waiting for it, because I didn't want to jump the gun and then it ends up, retracing up, and it didn't retrace up this time. So it, yeah, pushed the whole thing down. Yeah, I include the wick as well. Basically the entire candle. Because the problem with this here is, so say for example, um, your stop loss is like, of course, it's gonna be 500 pips, right? So say if your stop loss is 500 pips here, and the candle is, or like, I mean, the entire candle is the bigger than the stop loss. This can easily come up, hit your stop loss first, and then come all the way back down. And that's why I avoid it, or I just wait for it to retrace first, because I want to see it pull back a little bit, and then I'll enter it. Because if I do this, then I'll have an even better entry. So instead of getting in from here, I'm actually getting in from here, and I could actually hit my TP and make more profit from that point. So it's just more optimal entry. But I do count the entire candle, wick and body. Here you go, as price pushes back up. So price never came back down to this area, and it pretty much just pushed back to New York Open up here. Pretty choppy market. E said could maybe get that daily entry if a signal shows. Yeah, possibly. So there's two things to possibly look out for here, either daily entry or price come back down. Taking a look at the confluences, let's look at the bias again. Retail sentiment is currently 55% short, so we're still looking for bias here. Looking over here at the fundamentals, they're not very strong. They're up about 77 points. So it's basically a light bullish bias right now with regards to fundamentals and retail sentiment. Looking over here at the technicals, they're also bullish here on the 10-minute. So bias is met, trend is met, high-low continuation is technically met. Yeah, so this is actually going to fit for a buy here. The only problem is this candle is huge. Candle's like 1,200 pips. So possible, if it does close with that buy signal, possible retracement. Candle reversal is not present. High-low candle reversal is not present, but there is a additional strategy confluence here. So there's a V3 right here. So this V3 is still technically running. There's a V3 here from the previous low. It's running and it's in profit. This is a V3 that was running from this previous one over here. So this is another confluence. You have the additional strategy confluence. The trade is still technically running for this V3. So if you get another buy signal here, or you get the buy signal, this would be the daily. And you basically have a trade running within the trade. So you have this trade that's still running the V3, and then you have another daily that'll come up here. I mean, literally a trade within a trade. And these are usually like the best trades. If you have a trade running within another trade, it's probably going to push up at least, to the amount to hit this TP. So if this hits this TP, it's going to be pretty close up to here. You'll have the opportunity to move your stop loss and profit, pretty much guarantee profits, and then possibly reach for this full move or the fuller move off the daily here. And this isn't even the daily TP stop loss. Typically, it's going to be 150. So you might have even more cushion there to take it if you wanted to. Yeah, no, exactly. Maddie said it faked out retail, and that's why I always use this first, guys. If you guys ever look at my bias analysis, this is always going to be the main bias that I look at, retail sentiment, right? Because it pretty much just faked out the retail traders. There's retail traders here who were entering sells. So what happened was price just came down slightly to basically trap some retail sellers, and then as soon as it trapped them, it just shot right back up to stop everybody out, right? Because if you chase the sell here, like say if you enter down here, which I'm sure a lot of people would have entered at that point, you'd be in some massive drawdown at this point, right? You enter there for a sell. Drawdown is like, you'd be drawn on like over 1,000 pips right now. That's why I always try to stick in the direction of bias. And that's why today I was kind of iffy about taking the breakout, because I like to trade in the direction of bias. Yeah, Maddie said more people entering sells right now. Yeah, no, I can see it. The number here increased slightly. So let's see, Jansen has a question right here. Let's see, Jansen's question said, how are you reaching a conclusion for the high point of the retracement in order to continue the original trend? Um, so I'm not looking for any sells right now, Jansen. I'm looking for buys. The reason why I'm looking for buys is because my overall bias is bullish. So I'm not really looking for like any high point or retracement. The retracement I'm looking for is the opposite, actually, like in this direction here. The reason the points of retracement would be either, so there's a couple of different ways to identify it. So for example, right here, you see how this candle here is a huge red candle? Whenever you have a big candle like this, typically price will retrace to either half of the candle or the entire candle, right? So we're just going to measure this. This is 100. This is 1,560 pips, right? So 1,560 pips, 156 points. You divide that by 2, 78. Where's the midpoint for this? It's gonna be 78 around here. So there's gonna be two areas of retracement. If you're looking for a sell here. So for example, you're looking for a sell. So if I was looking for a sell, then this is what I look for. I'm looking for a buy, so I wouldn't really be looking at this myself personally. But for you, I know you're looking for a sell. You can use this right here as your threshold, right? That's going to be the halfway mark. And then this is going to be the full. So this is going to be my areas of retracement right here. If I was looking for a sell, which I'm not, but if for you, because I did see your markup, you're looking for a sell there. Price pushes down at that point, pushes up. It breaks through here. So this is pretty much invalid at this point. You're now looking for this area to be the retracement point, right? You're looking for a rejection off it. Price comes up and you can see exactly where this candle retraces from, the high point, right? Next candle over here, same thing. Retracement, retracement. And then what happens from this point? It comes back down for the correction. This thing right here, and the reason why I knew this would be the point is because a lot of people, this is where they place their stop losses, right? They either place their stop loss at the previous swing or at the high of the candle of their entry. So whoever tried to enter sells at this point just got pretty much stopped out 3 times because they'll enter once, they get stopped out right here, and then what happens? Typically people will be like, okay, I got unlucky. I'm going to re-enter for another one. They enter another sell here. They put their stop loss at the same spot. They get stopped out again. You know, they're like, all right, third time's a charm. All right, then another sell here. Stop loss in the same place. They get stopped out again right there. And then what happens from this point, the person who's looking for the sell gives up because they're like, oh crap, okay, I'm done. Price is not going to come back down. As soon as this happens, price comes all the way back down. Right. And I'm sure this has happened to a lot of people. You guys will get stopped out of a trade a couple times and then you just give up because you're like, okay, this isn't working. And then it ends up coming in your direction right after. For me personally, I'm not looking for a sell here because my overall bias is bullish. So for this candle right here, this is where I would be looking for retracement. Well, I mean, not necessarily because there's no entry, but if there was an entry here, then I would be looking for a retracement off some sort of buy at this point. But that's basically how I look for the high point retracement. So if you're looking for a sell, and but it has to be an actual candle that you're looking for an entry from. It can't just be like a random big candle. There has to be some sort of entry at that point. But if you go back and just look at these previous candles, like for example, like right here, this is a big green candle, right? You can see how price pushes up and then it comes back for the retracement. It reaches like basically the full part of the candle and then it pushes back up. And this is something that you can go back and test if you want. But that's usually how I would do it. But it would have to be in the direction of my actual trade. So right here, my bias is bullish. The reason for that's because I'm looking at retail sentiment. Basically, the reason why I use this as my main catalyst is because majority of people lose at trading, right? So I don't want to be trading where everybody else is trading. If everyone's selling right here, it says 56% of people are trading for a sell. I want to do the opposite and I want to buy. But this isn't a strong bias. Typically for my confluence, I want this to be at least 60% or more so that you have actual strong bias. Right now it's pretty neutral. It's at 55, 56. So it's not really one-sided. It's kind of like this can shift from 56 and then go back to like 50 and then it'll just be neutral. If it's like 60 to 65%, then it's almost guaranteed. If you time the entry properly, it'll most likely hit. We're probably not going to see at 60 to 65% for a while because we're in the summer. But once we enter the fall season, it's going to start to shift and be one-sided. So just keep that in mind when analyzing But basically that's the area of retracement. That's not the only way to analyze it though. So this is on the 10-minute, but looking over here on the 1, there's going to be a lot of areas here to, and this will probably be a better uh, breakdown for like what I was just referring to. So like, let me just take off the K2 pivot so that we don't use the trend as one of our catalysts here. I just want to use the sentiment. So this has been bullish pretty much all day today, right? This has been bullish and this has been bullish, but it hasn't been very strong. It's just been a light bullish bias. So you can see right here as price drops back below, we're looking for that retracement, right? So we're looking for areas of bounce. The areas that I'm looking for price to bounce from would be either these session high lows, which are going to be these dotted lines across. The red ones are going to be the London high lows. Purple is going to be Asia high lows, and green is going to be New York high lows. You're not going to see them here because this day hasn't closed yet, but tomorrow you'll see the New York high lows placed on here. But these are going to be areas that I'm looking for the retracement. So if I'm looking for a buy, I'm looking for price to come to some point like this session and then bounce off, or go to the London Open right here and then bounce off this point. So this line was already drawn before price got to this point here. If we go back and just replay this, the way that I got this London low was that I went over to the London Open was I went back to 12 o'clock my time. So my time, 12 o'clock Pacific, is going to be when London market opens. So this right here is London Open. That was the price point that I was looking for the rejection. So I already drew this before that rejection happened. And when price came down, it rejected directly off there and then continued its push up. So if you guys remember from the confluence checklist, one of the requirements here that we look at is going to be the high-low reversal candle. So in order for this right here, you want the low to be a green candle, which is right here. If it's followed by a buy signal, odds are it's going to keep pushing up higher. So if we get a bullish momentum signal, let's see if we can find one. Okay, so here's the pattern right there that I was just referring to. We have a low over here with the green candle. We have a bullish candle that follows. This is a reversal pattern right here. This is a reversal pattern that price is going to push up. This momentum is a confirmation that price is going to push up. So from that point, you can see price does push up to basically the New York Open. Or almost, that's like the target. So target price point is going to be the New York Open right here. Looks like it's going to hit. That's this high-low candle reversal. You're looking for the low of the green candle. It's basically just indicating that price has reached its low and it's now ready to push back up. So push back up from here. Momentum here confirmed the direction, and then now pushed up from that point. So if that trade was taken in the direction of bias, you can see how nice that pushed up from there. Yeah, so I think this might be like a lot of information for you, Jansen, since you're new here. But you know, the more and more that you sit in on these sessions, the more and more it's going to make sense. Because I do the same thing every day. It's just, you know, confirmation of the same patterns that just keep repeating themselves. US30 is like one of the assets that I see that the patterns just repeat almost every day. And I've been trading this live for like 4 years now. So, you know, we just keep getting better every day because these patterns just keep appearing. Let's see. E said that the one day I don't trade NAS, it's breakout smack. So I personally don't apply these strategies on other time frames, but I know E does and a couple other people in the group do, like Ross. So E is talking about the breakout this morning. So let's go over here to the breakout at 6:30. Turn on the momentum, high lows, and I guess the pivots. So looking at this right here, let's just see where the breakout happened. It didn't happen there. It didn't happen there. It didn't happen there. There. Where did the breakout happen? So I guess the breakout happened right there on that candle, right? Yeah, 6:35, like literally at 6:35 at the last minute. And for this right here, E likes to take it with a 250 pip TP stop loss. I don't apply this myself, guys, so I can't confirm whether it works very well or not, but E does apply and a couple other people apply it. You know, you guys are free to try these strategies on other assets. I just can't really tell you if they're really if I can't confirm whether they're good or not, because I only trade US30. But this is what E would have taken right here. I think it would have been a bit risky because of the candle so big, but if you wanted to wait for it to pull back, or I mean, if you just wanted to enter right away, you could have. Looks like it did retrace up a little bit right here. So you would have had the opportunity to enter it late. Like at this point, as price pushed up, you'd have a sell stop right there. And then if it comes back down, it would just fill your order right there and then full TP. So this is pretty much the same strategy. It's just the TP and stop loss requirement would be slightly different. So same strategy for the breakout. Look for entry after 630, confirm the bias. I don't know what the bias was for NASDAQ, but looking at the trend over here, it's obviously bearish. The red pivot's above the green. Trend meter is red. That meets the requirements. Confirm direction of momentum to sell. Looking for a sell there. Strong candle for entry at that point. You can enter this for 250 like E does. Looking at the confluence checklist, looks like everything here is, I mean, for the most part, met. Bias, we'll say, was bearish. Trend was bearish. High-low continuation, that was met right here. There's no overlap. High-low candle reversal, multi-time frame. 10-minute right here. That isn't met, but everything else is pretty much met for the most part. So everything except for this one. And the additional strategy confluence, there's a V3 right there. So everything pretty much met. So this would have been a really good entry for okay. Yeah, E said it's 54% long. So this does meet the requirements. So this would have been pretty good, E, if you took this for the breakout. If anyone wants to come and test this out, I mean, you guys are more than welcome. If you want to test it out, E, you can do it as well. But you guys can see there's a lot of opportunity applying these strategies on different assets, whether it be S&P, US30, NASDAQ. I'm personally going to stick to US30. I don't want to go between pairs because it's going to cause a lot of confusion. So I'm just going to trade US30. But if you guys want to go and follow NASDAQ or follow S&P, you guys are more than welcome. Yeah, E said bunch of V1s, V3s. Looks like a good day. Of course, one day I avoid NAS. It's super directional. I know it always happens, right? E, it's directional when you're not paying attention to it. Maddie said, Sean, I'm going to test taking the breakout with a 10 pip trailing stop. No, yeah, go ahead and do that, Maddie. And I'm probably gonna, if that's the case and it becomes good, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'll just adjust it. I think my 200 pip stop loss might be a little too wide, so maybe I'll make it a bit tighter at like maybe 150. But if you find a good sweet spot at 100, we'll just start using that. All right, guys, it's 8:03 right now, so it's past our live session time. I typically get off around 8 o'clock. I think from this point, market's going to be ranging for a bit. And then the time to be looking for direction is going to be 9 to 10. Between 9 and 10, this is where you're going to start to get some directional movement. And then it's going to prepare for the mid-market reversal. So looking at where price is currently at, let me see where price is pretty much. I'll go over here to a clean chart. So go over here to US30. Back up a little bit and take everything off the chart. So let's see what the direction was pretty much for New York session. 6:30 right here. There actually was no direction. So if you just look here from 6:30 up until 8 o'clock, there was actually no direction. Price pretty much just went back and forth. So I'm expecting price to pretty much range and consolidate from 8 to 9. And then from 9 till 10, it's going to start to choose its direction for the mid-market reversal. But there really isn't very much here to look at because you can see price had no direction. You can see market open here at 6:30, price dropped, came back up, dropped, came back up. And it's pretty much just been in a big range pretty much all morning. So this is the high and this is the low. Price pretty much just ranged back and forth between this whole area. No direction at all for today. E said daily's pending, want to enter for reverse so bad, but I'm unsure retail sentiment. Yeah, no, I'd probably just sit it out, E. I think it's too risky right here because there's no direction set. Let's see, price has kind of been dropping since London. So it might swing back up because price has been dropping since this point right here. It's technically still dropping. So the mid-market reversal point might happen within like 9 to 10 and it'll just swing back up. Or it might just continue dropping. One thing that you want to keep in mind is that the earnings are going to be released tomorrow. So this might cause, like, price might go opposite direction. And then on Tuesday, it'll just push up if the earnings are good or if they're bad. One thing that you guys want to keep in mind is that the markets are expecting another 75 basis point rate hike by the central banks. So this is another reason why I want to go buy my car today, because I didn't get financing. I want to go before the interest rates go up. So another reason why I'm kind of pushing to get my car up like as soon as possible. But all right, guys, I think that's it for today. Maddie said lots of liquidity on the top side as well. There's a lot of liquidity on both sides, so it's going to be a bit risky to take trades depending on like where it's going to continue pushing. I don't see any other profits here. If you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. I'll add them to the list. But it looks like a lot of you guys did pretty good here so far to kick off the trading week. Brock over here with about 200 profit, John with about 3,500, Ross with 4,325. So you guys did pretty good off my analysis today. Unfortunately, I didn't take any trades myself, but it's okay. I'd rather be safe than sorry. Jenny with 3,000. Maddie with about 1,000 off that account, 2,000 almost, 7,000 or 700 off here. Patricia, 2,400. Shannon, about 300, etc. So pretty good day for you guys so far. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me or message me on Telegram. Otherwise, I'll be back here tomorrow, same place, same time, as we take the next breakout for this week. So other than that, guys, have a great rest of your morning. And if you guys have questions, feel free to reach out.